The following is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on News Talk 580 KMJ and 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central California. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week, here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing, credit, and financial markets. You know, within every market there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted financial advice, and it's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got a lot of testosterone here in the studio this morning.
Just enough to get you.
Yeah, right. I had to do it. I just really had to do it. Tim O'Hare in the studio with us. Good morning, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Our licensed mortgage originator. You are a professional in many things that you do, amongst originating mortgages.
I'm pretty certain that I am.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Enjoying the end of your summer?
Yeah.
T-minus 1 week and Clovis Unified's back in school.
Yeah, and then the rat race starts all over again.
Yes, it does. And then we're into a routine. Yeah. I really can't wait. It's already starting with, they call it Hell Week with
basketball.
With fall sports, water polo, football, early AM workouts, dropping the kids off early. I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Part of the routine.
Yeah, my kids have been going to the gym a lot this summer, which is great. Seriously, I'm surprised they're up early. So
nice.
Getting up at 6 a.m. and going to the gym, I love it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So. Johnny B behind the mics. Always great to see you Sunday morning, Big John. I didn't call you fat. I just said Big John. Yeah, I meant that affectionately. We're also real fortunate. Dr. Kevin Lester here in the studio this morning. Everybody's a little giggly this morning. Dr. Lester's here along with Megan Vinton, his sidekick. Who's the funny one in the group? Who's going to be? Megan, you're going to be the funny one. Right?
I'll try.
Dr. Lester, you're going to be the straight.
Oh,
I'm very straight. There you go. Here in the studio to talk with our listeners. You're going to be amazed because we are going to talk about testosterone replacement therapy. I kid you not. That's why the quick joke this morning as far as lots of testosterone here in the studio. Thanks so much for joining us. And we're also going to take some listener questions. You know, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for 1 full hour each and every week. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate as well as financial markets. We are going to share with you some financial secrets that the big banks on Wall Street don't want you to hear, so we can help bring you back home. Well, on today's show, homeownership at near 20-year low. It's not surprising, I must say, but there are some bright spots on the horizon. And during the last year, new homeowners spent an estimated, I don't find this surprising as well, especially with housing prices increasing what we've seen, just in California over the last 18 months, an estimated $18 billion on new home improvements nationally. Yes, that's 18 with a B, so that's a lot of money spent on your home or improving your home.
Home Depot must like that.
I tell you what, Lowe's and Home Depot, they're eating it up right at the moment. And affordable housing draws middle class to inland cities, and we talked about it last week on the show. When you look at some of the major metropolitan areas that really benefited from those alternative mortgage programs, the stated income, the no ratio, the no docs, it is no wonder that we are seeing, especially when all of the mortgage programs now, Tim, are full doc. I say all of them. There are some, our friends, Al Gonzalez, if you're listening. Yes, there is the stated income products that are slowly but surely coming back, or those quote-unquote private money programs that are really masquerading or looking like the old stated income products that we saw.
There's some Alt-A programs.
Yeah, there is some bank statement programs that are very, very competitive. We also, again, as I mentioned, we're very fortunate to have Dr. Kevin Lester here in the studio with his sidekick, Megan Vinton. Sorry, Megan.
I'm pretty quick, though.
You are pretty quick. To talk to us about testosterone optimization. How do you know if your testosterone is low? Well, we're going to have an in-depth conversation this morning with Dr. Lester. And if you've been afraid to ask, now's your time. We're also going to take some listener questions, so make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, or let's say there is a topic that is really causing you some problems in your life currently, give us a call. We'd love to field the questions, and hopefully we're able to be a resource for you as well. It all starts with one phone call. Call us anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go, and listen to us on your smartphone at kmjnow.com. You can also go to our website and check out our resources online. You can also listen to today's show or past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to valleywidesells.com. Well, homeownership at a near 20-year low, but there are some bright spots on the horizon. Despite low interest rates and expanding credit availability, homeownership in the United States continues to fall, down to a low of 64.7%, a level not seen since 1995. Among the key culprit is home affordability, which has been exacerbated by extreme home appreciation. We've seen in California, July of 2012 to July of 2013, 30.4% appreciation in California. It's no wonder the wheels didn't warm up and actually fly off the buggy at that point in time. The next 12 months, we saw roughly 10.4% appreciation in California.
Now it's more normal.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got roughly 2,000 units active on Fresno Multiple Listing Service in Fresno County. So we're coming to that point where we're below, I believe, single digit as far as appreciation is concerned in a more normalized market. So although it is a little discouraging to see that homeownership is at a 20-year low, I do believe that over time in a more normalized market, and then also once we see that credit markets begin to open up just a little bit as far as the availability of mortgage products, loosening the standards as far as credit and mortgage underwriting is concerned. It was also interesting, this is kind of a side note, and I didn't plan on speaking about it this morning, but FHA loan limits. I had a realtor contact me this week, and they said, FHA mortgage limit in Fresno County is what, 381? I said, no, that was last year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was the last 6 or 7 years, roughly. Oh, shoot. Well, you mean they reduced it? What did they reduce it down to? 281, 250.
Right.
Well, there's always a lag, but I saw a story this week that said that FHA lending being down the highest in those communities or those counties where you saw such a large drop we saw a 25, almost 30% increase.
Yeah, in appreciation, and then you're going to have a decrease in the amount of loan limits.
So, unfortunately, while some of those are going up and FHA is going down, it's going to limit the number of FHA loans. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And no project is left undone. Is it any surprise that we are seeing more home improvement nationally? $18 billion. During the past year alone, new homeowners spent $18 billion, yes, that's with a B, on home improvement projects. So 1 out of every 5 new homeowners, now this is new homeowners, someone that's purchased a home in the last 24 months, took on a remodeling project during the past year. Seems like a low number. So if that $18 billion is representative of 20% of the market, expect that, again, it is a lot of money, and that expect Lowe's and Home Depot to really like the next few years. So what were these homeowners spending their monies on? 70% were more likely to have remodeled their kitchen. So if you are going to put money into a remodel, where is your dollar for dollar best spent? Kitchen.
Always.
Absolutely.
It's where you entertain.
That's where you entertain. It's where you spend a lot of time. I obviously don't miss many meals, so I like spending a lot of time in the kitchen. 68% more likely to have taken on new landscaping. So very interesting. Again, it helps to...
Is there a category for man caves?
There is no category. More likely, 49% more likely to have tackled an addition, so adding to the footprint of the property, and 43% were more likely to have remodeled the bathroom. And there's nothing here. 29% more likely to have replaced windows. Yeah. No man cave, unfortunately.
Energy efficient windows.
Yeah, exactly. Energy, you better believe it.
Well, there's tax write-offs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And hopefully solar at some point. And affordable housing draws middle class to inland cities. Why do you think that is, Timmer? Affordable housing. Obviously, it's not in San Francisco or in Los Angeles or in Santa Monica or San Diego, for that matter. We're talking about those areas where you've seen they've stopped building any more land. So it is.
They don't want to waste the farmland anymore?
Yeah, no. Affordable housing draws so many folks. Americans have never hesitated
it's
to
more affordable.
Pack up. Exactly. And move to those markets like where? Midwest, St. Louis.
Yeah. Homeland.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have. I think it's more family.
Well, cost of housing in those areas, we had Michael J. Mayer on just a few weeks ago, and he has a Keller Williams office there out of Kansas City. And in terms of the average, and I think Kevin even mentioned it, or Michael even mentioned it, the average housing price in those markets is like $127,000. My wife was just back there visiting family a month and a half ago, and she brought the little housing magazines back, and it is amazing what you can buy.
It'll be interesting to see in the future of how many people are going to leave California, sell, and buy in those types of places for cash.
You bring up a really good point. I saw a post on Facebook this week, and it was a text message that someone had sent to me and saying that please vote for this or sign this petition for this alternative gas tax. It could be anywhere between 15 and 76 cents or something like that here in California. And I thought, what another great reason not to live in the state of California. I love here. I was born here. I have family here. My kids are here. But goodness gracious, do we need another reason? I mean, really, seriously.
And no water in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I met with a client this week as well. Moved his business to Texas.
Well, Madera Ranchos this week just not mentioned. It's actually part of their. I guess you're going to get fined.
There's a moratorium on watering.
Yeah, you can't water your lawns anymore at all.
Like through September.
That's crazy.
You cannot water your. I guess 3 out of the 4 wells are still working. One of the wells of the 4 is totally and completely dry.
Private wells are still okay to use, but it's if you're using their Madera Rancho wells, and
just amazing.
It is.
I don't really think we need more reasons why folks should ever entertain leaving the state, and that we better start doing more to keep people here than encouraging them to find other places where there's no state tax or no increased gas tax or something along those lines. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or a question about something that we've spoken about this morning, or maybe it's something that actually relates more to your world and something that you're going to, it all starts with one call. Give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go, if you dare, and listen to us on your smartphone right now at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources online. You can search for your next home at valleywidesells.com. Well, as we mentioned, we're very, very fortunate to have Dr. Kevin Lester here in the studio with us, along with Megan Venton, his sidekick, right, Meg, to talk to us about testosterone optimization. And how do you know if your testosterone, if you're a guy, and if your testosterone's low? Well, we're going to let you in on that and many more secrets this morning. Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate, here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer, at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
When it comes to investing and wealth management, you can find good counsel from someone at a local office for a Wall Street firm. And if you do well, a main office in New York does well. However, we at Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group offer a very different choice. Our associates offer Wall Street experience from an independent, local company. We answer to you, not New York. Thies & Duker's owners, associates, and staff members live right here. We're your neighbors.
I'm John Morgan, a financial consultant with Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group. I recently joined Thies & Duker because I wanted to serve my clients in an independent firm that truly values clients, families, and this community. If that's what you're looking for too, give me a call at 448-8190.
Feel right at home at Thies & Duker. Visit us online at thiesandduker.com. ThiesendUker.com.
The consultants at Thies & Duker are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, as we mentioned, we are very fortunate. We have Dr. Kevin Lester here in the studio this morning to talk about one of those things that I think guys are afraid to admit. What happens? How do you know, Dr. Lester, when you're suffering from low testosterone?
Well, there are so many people suffering from low testosterone that you feel like most of the old guys around you. You've got some unwanted belly fat, less interest in exercise. You feel like your battery is just low.
Okay, guys, quit raising your hands. You don't have to raise your hands.
A lot of men sleep more than they used to. They get home from a golf game and they go lay down and sleep. Their kids always find them on the couch resting. Some of the other manifestations are grumpiness, grouchiness. Oftentimes I'll see a couple in my office and I'll ask the man, I'll say to him, you're about my age, do you think you might be low T? And the guy says, well, what do you mean by that? And I say something about grouchiness, and the wife says, get him in the program. Because none of us like to be grouchy, and we sometimes just get normalized to it. You also get normalized to not exercising, or some guys will go to a gym for 3 hours and they're still fat and floppy, and you wonder, how could that be? Well, that is a manifestation of low testosterone. If you've had a wrist fracture, or if a man has a fracture, of course it can be from a high trauma.
Sure.
But if a man falls down, first of all, it's because he's weak. Secondly, it's because, and if he fractures, it's because he has osteoporosis. Men get osteoporosis too, and the treatment is to treat their testosterone deficiency. Men, for example, that use erectile dysfunction medicines, or even they use antidepressant medicines. Oftentimes, the problem is actually low T. So that they might be treating a symptom of their low T, but not treating the whole cause.
Absolutely.
And if I gave you a list of the beneficial effects of testosterone, it would go on for so long you'd have to get new pages. And an expert could come in and give you one more reason or one more benefit of testosterone. Of course, we have to sometime even today talk about risks, because we all see the television advertisements that invite any man that has prescribed testosterone that has a stroke and a heart attack to sue their doctor. They might be entitled to a substantial cash reward.
Cash reward, yes.
And then they could sell it to one of those musical things where, I want my money now. And there must, just think how much this stuff must be going on, because they advertise on the television all the time.
Oh, sure. It's big business.
But the risks under a properly controlled testosterone optimization program are really low. Frankly, people with low testosterone are much more likely to die young than people with normal or high testosterone.
This decline, as far as the amount of testosterone that the body produces over time, can be very long and gradual. So the changes are very minor, but over time, or the changes can be very minor over time, but the sum result is it's just not good. It's a general malaise, a lack of interest really to do much of anything.
That's right. We just force ourselves to do things that we used to completely enjoy doing.
Sure. And it's not just because you're tired of chasing the kids around. And
one of the manifestations is being too tired to go out and play baseball with your kids. If you've had children at an older age, like many of us, at least me, and perhaps a lot of us. I mean, if you start having kids when you're 35, your kids want to play baseball when you're 50, they're 15, and you just get home from work and you say, well, I don't want to do it.
Right.
And that's, you're likely a low-key person.
Or you just don't like that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point. So how do you go about, if someone is listening, and granted our listenership as far as KMJ is concerned, you might be a little surprised that you're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno and we're actually talking about low testosterone. But it is something that affects everyone. If you're alive and you're within earshot of this signal, and typically the lowest person, in terms of age, the youngest person that you have enrolled in the program is in mid to late 30s.
Right.
If you're the primary folks that really should be paying attention this morning is someone at least 40. And definitely if you're over 50 and you have not had your testosterone levels checked, it's time. As far as the process is concerned and you want to get your levels checked, first thing they need to do is do what?
Well, the most important thing to know about low testosterone is the symptoms. Because if you think you are low T, you probably are. And if you felt better when you were 35 than you do when you're 55, what do you think the difference is? I mean, your skin's the same, your muscles are there, your bones are there, your eyes are there, your interest is there, but something's missing. Apparently, it isn't that age causes your hormones to go down, but when your hormones go down, you age. And there's a lot of good evidence for that. So if you come to my office, we would talk to you. You'd answer about 10 questions. They're called the ADAM or ADAM questions, which are basically: are you tired? Do you sleep more often? Are you grouchy? Are you grumpy? Is your sexual performance the same? Are you less interested in outdoor activities and those sorts of things? Then we get laboratory studies. The trick about the laboratory studies is that if you don't really understand the labs, then you can misdiagnose the problem. For example, there are some men that have high total testosterone, but they have binding products that make the bioavailable testosterone much lower. And I have patients like that. I actually have one man that has hugely high testosterone, total testosterone, but he also has a large amount of sex hormone binding globulin, which is hard to say, but I can say it because I'm a specialist. And we just treated him until he had enough free bioavailable testosterone that he felt great.
Because without having enough bioavailable testosterone, it really doesn't matter how high your total testosterone is. I guess it does, but it's just not the same thing.
No, it does matter. I mean, the only thing you feel is free testosterone. For example, a man that, say a man and a woman get married when they're 30, and by the time they're 35, they think things maybe just aren't exactly the same. And how do they manifest that? Well, they hardly even notice. The peak of your testosterone is when you're about 33. As it starts diminishing ever so slightly, you might have a glass of alcohol after work, and maybe your spouse does too. So each of you increase your testosterone. Each of you increase this social milieu, it is an improvement. 10 years later, you're having 2 glasses of alcohol. 20 years later, you're both alcoholics. We see that all the time. And there are better ways, because it is the people with low testosterone that have the high risk of dying young, not high testosterone. That whole idea needs to be changed.
Certainly. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we discussed this morning when we had the opportunity was, for someone, I was introduced years ago to the whole concept of testosterone replacement. I'm 50 now, and it was about the time that I was 40 that I was introduced, and it just so happened my testosterone was extremely low. It's so important to, I think, drag this out of the shadows and make sure that folks understand, and I say folks, women as well as men, that you understand, this is not something that you have to be embarrassed about.
Right.
Number 2, that this is not something, we're not talking about supplementation. I thought in the book that you had sent me over, Testosterone for Dummies, I thought it was so funny. On one of the captions to the gentleman that was sitting in the chair from the side, you said, I bet he over supplements, or something along those lines.
Giant,
because he was
guy.
Just huge. Yeah. We're not talking about preparing you for the Olympics. What we're doing is, doctors talking about returning you to a level or a state that you were prior to a significant drop as far as your testosterone is concerned. And this isn't something that we should be embarrassed about. This is something that our body produces. We are trying to get you back to a level that
a healthy level.
A healthy level. One of the things that I will say is that when your testosterone, when your levels are much more normal, you feel like the world is spinning right. You feel more confident. You feel more confident when it comes time for decision making. It's just life is good.
Yep. I think my own experience for it, or with it, was perhaps like you, about 12 years ago. I used to jog at lunchtime, and I would jog about 40 minutes, and I did that for about 15 years, and after 40 years or 40 minutes of jogging, I would get back to my office, and I'd rest for 15 minutes. I'd take a shower for 15 minutes. I'd rest and put my clothes on, and when I turned about 51 or 52, I just couldn't accomplish the goal. By the time I was done with that regimen, I was still sweating horribly, and I had to give it up. But I was also feeling kind of the blues a little bit. It was very subtle. And I would go to bed a little earlier, and finally my wife sat down next to my bed one evening and said, "Is there anything that we could do to help you?" And I said,
"Nice approach."
It was not. My wife is great. And she said, I said, "No." I said, "There must be something wrong with me." So the next day I called a friend and I said, "Hey, Bob," I said, "I'm not feeling right." And he said, "Oh, well, take this." And he gave me some antidepressant medicine. And after 2 weeks, no, it was a good choice. And after 2 weeks, I felt a little bit better. But it wasn't it. I knew it wasn't it. So then the next day I jogged over to a friend's office and I said, "Pat, I just don't feel like myself." And he said, "Come with me." And he gave himself a shot. And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Testosterone." And I said, "Well, what's that do for you? Make you kind of chase the gals?" He said, "No." He said, "It makes me want to exercise. I just like to walk. I just walk and walk and walk." And I said, "Well, I don't care that much about walking, but I'd like to feel better." But I got my blood levels, and it was low.
Yeah.
And it took me, well, I don't know, I started the treatment, and I'm telling you, within about a month, I was embarrassed for how I had been for the previous 3 or 4 years. And I realized that there must be a gigantic percentage of men that indeed are low and suffering.
Sure.
Now, maybe there's guys that are low and aren't suffering, but I can tell you, in our experience in the last 2 years of enrolling a lot of patients in our program, if a man feels like he's low testosterone, we check him with laboratory studies. Megan, what percentage are low testosterone?
100%. Every single one.
How long does it take for them to feel better, and how does it manifest in the office?
The waiting room's really, really grumpy, and the guys are grumpier than the gals. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true. She says she's like to start treating the gals.
It happens. I would probably say within 2 weeks of being on the program, you can already see night and day difference. I mean, it's ridiculous how it takes men so much to get in there, and then 2 weeks later, oh, can I come back? When can I do this? Do I really have to change my regimen? Yes. So it's just, I haven't met one patient who doesn't like the program either. So
amazing.
And the testosterone is not the end-all, be-all. If you really want to be healthy, you got to go on to diet and exercise. But if you're depressed and your muscles ache when you exercise, then you have to not exercise. And if you're depressed, you eat too much, and your body just goes to pot. Testosterone is a major part of maintaining good health throughout your older life.
Absolutely. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions about the information that we're sharing with you on the show this morning, it all starts with one call. Give us a call anytime on our off-air number at 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources online and start searching for your next home right now at valleywide.com. Well, after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Kevin Lester, and we're also going to ask those 10 questions that every doctor, especially Dr. Lester, will ask to determine if you really are suffering from low testosterone. And we're going to go into a little greater detail about diet and exercise and really how much you can supercharge your results. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate. Here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
When it comes to investing in wealth management, you can find good counsel from someone at a local office for a Wall Street firm. And if you do well, a main office in New York does well. However, we at Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group offer a very different choice. Our associates offer Wall Street experience from an independent, local company. We answer to you, not New York. Thies & Duker's owners, associates, and staff members live right here. We're your neighbors.
I'm Tom Morgan, a financial consultant with Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group. I recently joined Thies & Duker because I wanted to serve my clients in an independent firm that truly values clients, families, and this community. If that's what you're looking for too, give me a call at 448-8190.
Feel right at home at Thies & Duker. Visit us online at thiesandduker.com. THIESENDUEKER.com.
The consultants at Thies & Duker are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, as we mentioned, we're really fortunate. We've got Dr. Kevin Lester here in the studio this morning talking about low T, low testosterone, and his Testosterone Optimization Program. So, Dr. Lester, I'm going to go down this list here real quick of the 10 questions. And these are not necessarily your questions, but these were my questions to help identify if any of our listeners are experiencing any of these. Or, again, it could be a gradual decline. But if you're experiencing number one, do you have a decrease in sex drive? That's at the top of the list. And that's a pretty important thing for us guys.
It is. And if you find that you have a decrease in sex drive, it is likely associated with low T.
Number two.
Shame.
What's that?
What a shame.
What a shame, exactly.
No, it's a great thing because it can be fixed.
Tim scheduled his appointment with Megan during the break. So we're going to make sure we get that fixed for you, Timmer.
There are a lot of things that can't be fixed.
Wow.
I had a guy in my office the other day. He's a psychologist. He's had 30 years of taking antidepressant medicine. And a month into the program, he said to me, Dr. Lester, I've stopped my antidepressant medicine with 1 month in your program.
Now that's amazing.
We hear these kind of stories all the time, although that was pretty extreme.
Yeah, absolutely. So number two, do you experience a lack of energy? You mentioned it earlier.
Oh, yeah. It's very common. Any of the common problems that are associated with aging are the common problems associated with low T.
Number three, do you have a decrease in strength and or endurance?
That we talked about running, and if you have, there are plenty of guys that have great endurance and strength, but most of those guys, if they're in older age, are using testosterone replacement.
Amazing. Number four, have you lost height? Well, you might say, well, why is that significant? Well, low testosterone could lead to porous bones.
That's right. Osteoporosis.
Number five, have you noticed a decreased enjoyment in life?
People of beyond middle age, how often do they complain that the light, the sky just isn't as blue? Of course, there are a lot of reasons for that sort of thing. I mean, you've got children that might be not performing well and all that, but we were there. We caused that to our parents. Now we get it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I remember that my father, who's now gone, I'm sure he had low testosterone. It was such a shame that nothing could be done at the time.
Sure.
But today, we are no longer going to be neglected and stand quietly amongst men. I might also add that one of the issues that men worry about with testosterone is prostate cancer. There is absolutely no expert that believes that testosterone causes prostate cancer. Zero, none. And the further evidence of that is that advertisement on the television that says, if you're taking prescribed testosterone, you have a heart attack or a stroke, call us. You may be entitled to a big cash settlement.
Sure.
Notice they don't say anything about prostate cancer.
Right.
But go ahead with your question.
Yeah.
How long has this program been, I guess, either one started or evolving? When was
It's been evolving since 1938. So that precedes all of us.
Number six, are you sad and grumpy?
Well, I am not, but I'm using testosterone. But men that have low testosterone, frequently their wives will say, get him into the program. He is grumpy. And the guy doesn't even think he's grumpy.
Sure.
He's just gotten so used to it.
He just figured that's part of evolution.
He thinks that the market is causing it, or the farm is causing it, or the weeds are causing it. No, it's his low testosterone causing it. He used to have the farm and not be grumpy.
That must have been Eeyore's problem.
Yeah. It was. Number six, do you have a difficult time performing in the bedroom?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, there are apparently nobody has erectile dysfunction, but Pfizer thinks there's something different because they sell Viagra like hotcakes.
Right.
But if you're having an issue of erectile dysfunction, testosterone clearly makes a difference.
Yeah. Have you seen their stock prices lately? My gosh, Pfizer and all those. Amazing.
Hey, adult men, or I should say adult senior men, they want to continue participating in life in a full and healthy way. this is part of it. And I think it's an absolutely necessary part of it.
Number 8, have you noticed a recent deterioration in your ability just to function if you're wanting to be active and play some sort of sports?
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Ask those other guys out there, because no, I haven't.
Number 9, are you falling asleep after dinner? Okay.
I do. Yes. I tend to sleep at night.
At what point after dinner?
But we have people come in the office that are falling asleep
in their chair.
They're falling asleep all the time, but they're not anymore, are they?
Nope, wide awake.
There you go. Number 10, has there been a recent deterioration in your work performance? In other words, are you just not as alert, not as sharp at work?
Yeah. That is one of the things that people notice. In fact, a lot of CEOs, in fact, if you knew how many CEOs and how many very high-functioning people are on testosterone replacement, you'd be shocked. But one of the questions I used to ask my CEO-type guys is, have you lost command of your work? Are you softer? And they would say, oh, yes, I am, and I do not like it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Wow, he's jumping at the bit. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about diet and exercise. Doc, what can you do to really supercharge the results? Because in your world right at the moment, it might be enough just to get on the optimization program. But how can you really supercharge the results just by focusing on diet and exercise? And I don't mean caloric restriction. I'm just talking about well-balanced meals and exercise.
Well, in general, if you want your body to be in a better physical condition, it is diet and exercise. If you want to lose weight, it is diet. And there are several programs out there. There's the South Beach program, which is a very successful one. But all of them, I should mention a couple others. There's Body for Life. Body for Life is a wonderful program. You can't eat all of you want on Body for Life. You can eat all of you want on South Beach Diet. You just can't eat all of what you want.
Yeah.
You kind of can't eat that much chocolate cake, but you can eat loads of low glycemic vegetables, and you'll have the weight just fall off of you. Mm-hmm. You can also do a high protein program where you eat only proteins and fats. You'll lose weight that way too. Exercise, of course, is, in fact, both of these things are a little bit uncomfortable. You may be hungry some of the time. You may want to eat candy some of the time. Those programs don't exactly allow much sugary type food.
Right.
But sugary type food is clearly associated with poor health. I think it's worthwhile to mention, because you're talking about health with regard to testosterone, diet, and exercise, to mention that you're going to die of one of three things. You're going to die of a trauma, you're going to die of a cancer, or you're going to die of a blood vessel disease. The 98-year-old lady that dies tonight in a nursing home did not just die of old age. She probably died of a blood vessel disease. She might have had a stroke or a heart attack, a plaque fall off of the inside of her blood vessels. Those things are statistically associated with diet and exercise. Alzheimer's associated with diet and exercise, and all of the diets tend to be low sugar diets. That isn't to say you can't eat carbohydrates, but you can't eat carbohydrates that cause your blood sugar to go up. For example, you can eat loads of greens, but you can't eat loads of bread. You can drink some wine, but you're not so good with beer. You can eat meat. And animal fat has been badly castigated over the years. It's not as bad as people thought. But wheat and sugars really are quite bad.
Very interesting. So the moral to the story is that if you are feeling some sort of general malaise and things just aren't as sharp as they used to be, no pun intended, and at work you have gotten just a little bit softer, and let's say you might, not to say that anyone under the age of 40 isn't susceptible to low testosterone, because it has been proven that they are. But if you're in excess of or older than 40, definitely if you are older than 50, and you'd really like to figure out or to at least see if there is something you might need to do to get your life back on track, the way you would want to get a hold of Dr. Lester is call Dr. Lester at 844-867-4241. Again, that's 844-867-4281. A little play on word here. It's 844-TOP-HAT and the number 1. Again, 844-TOP-HAT and the number 1. A lot can be done to really improve your life. It will take a little investment on your part as far as the diet and the exercise is concerned, but all you have to do is pick up the phone and make the call.
I have a quick question. It's 4 weeks. You said you'll start feeling better normally.
Oh, no, it's faster.
It's a lot faster than that.
How many times are you going per week?
Once per week.
Once per week.
And there's a couple things. First of all, almost all insurances cover this program. Secondly, we will bring this program to a person at his office or at his gym or at his golf course. Wherever there's a group of 10 men that want to be on the program, we will be there to bring the service to them.
So the moral of the story is spread the word, because ease of access, the more guys you've got at the gym or at the country club.
And I'll tell you, one of the things when we start the program, we give a man an injection right after we get his labs. And he feels better, but he's not sure because it's sort of general. And you think, oh, maybe it's a placebo effect, and maybe I'm just being hopeful. But the second time they come, they start thinking, oh, something's better. For example, a friend of mine said, oh, yeah, Kevin, I woke up with a little bit of a tent. And he said, but my wife took care of that. And he says, but by the fourth time, these guys feel like they could walk on air again.
Yep.
Nice. Good problem to have, huh, Timmer? Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions.
Actually,
there you go. Sorry. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or a question about something that we've covered this morning. Again, if you'd like more information about Testosterone Optimization Program with Dr. Kevin Lester, give Dr. Lester a call. 844-TOP-HAT and the number 1. Again, 844-TOP-HAT-1 or 844-867-4281. 844-867-4281. Or give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone at kmjnow.com. You can begin the search for your next home at our website at valleywidesells.com. Well, coming up, Jose from Fresno was asking Tim, and this one's specifically for you, if you're a first-time home buyer, how do you go about really shopping for a lender? When we return, we're going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Rick Ransom, a local guy, began his career in mortgage lending in 1989. In 91, he became one of the first reverse mortgage lenders in California. Since that time, he's helped hundreds of seniors with reverse mortgages and other senior-related issues. And he's one of the few in this business who is a CPA.
This is Rick Ransom. Much of what you hear on TV and radio is not altogether true. There is misinformation. A reverse mortgage can help you supplement your retirement, pay off your existing mortgage or credit cards, even purchase a new home. If you're ready for a free face-to-face meeting with someone with 45 years experience in the application process, call me at 221-5355. That's 221-5355. I look forward to meeting with you.
DRE number 513201, NMLS number 240770.
When it comes to investing in wealth management, you can find good counsel from someone at a local office for a Wall Street firm. And if you do well, a main office in New York does well. However, we at Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group offer a very different choice. Our associates offer Wall Street experience from an independent, local company. We answer to you, not New York. Thies & Duker's owners, associates, and staff members live right here. We're your neighbors.
I'm Tom Morgan, a financial consultant with Thies & Duker Financial Consulting Group. I recently joined Thies & Duker because I wanted to serve my clients in an independent firm that truly values clients, families, and this community. If that's what you're looking for too, give me a call at 448-8190.
Feel right at home at Thies & Duker. Visit us online at thiesandduker.com. THIESENDUEKER.com.
The consultants at Thies & Duker are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let Craig and his team at Valleywide help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Start the search for your next home by visiting our website at valleywidesells.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you.
You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with local experts Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Timmer, this one is for you. Jose from Fresno called in a few weeks back. It took us a little while to get to Jose, but if you're a first-time home buyer, Jose's asking, how do you go about shopping for a lender?
Well, there's many of us out there. Probably my first choice is maybe talk to some other people that have gotten into homes. What was their experience? Was it good? Was it bad? Obviously, I would like to get that phone call myself, but if you're out shopping, maybe the bank that you're with right now, whoever you do your deposits with, checking and savings is a good place to start as well, too. But a good lender, to me, is someone that's experienced, has been in the business for a little while. There has been many changes in the last couple of years.
Sure.
Someone that I'm compassionate about. I mean, I like to get my people into their homes. So I think you need to find someone that cares as well.
Absolutely.
I think that makes a big difference.
It's great, I think, that regardless of the industry, Dr. Lester, he has a passion. You can tell he's very passionate about what he does. But I think finding someone that is a passion, that has a passion as being a teacher, that is very passionate about educating their clients, and that no question is a stupid question per se.
Right. And it's a learning experience too for that person who's ever coming into the loan process. Don't be intimidated. The questions are obviously we got to get down and nail some things down, but it's necessary.
Certainly.
You need to find out some information about someone's past. Maybe they had some issues with credit, or maybe job instability, things of that nature. Don't be afraid to tell your loan officer. I mean, if they're a good loan officer, obviously it's going to be confidential information for one thing, and two, if they care about that individual of trying to really truly get them in a home, I think they'll do a good job for them.
Sure. So starting with, to summarize, getting a referral from someone, maybe it's a family, a friend, or a coworker, family member, friend,
might
coworker,
be a good start.
Is a good place to start. My referral, personally, I've worked with Tim in a number of different capacities over the last probably 10 or 12 years, and I will say this: he does have an amazing passion for what he does, and my referral would be to someone like Tim that I know, that I like, but most importantly that I trust. If you do have questions about getting pre-approved and you're not really sure where to start, give Tim a call, 559-349-0789. Again, 559-349-0789. And really understand what you need. Set the expectation up front with regards to mortgage payments, or maybe there's a little road that you've got to travel, some things that you've got to take care of
to overcome
before you actually get out there and start shopping. Granted, the shopping part is fun, and we usually get clients that have either started shopping or unfortunately submitted an offer already, and we have to reverse engineer. Sylvia from Hanford, now this was a very, very interesting question that I received just recently, asks, I'm having a property basically taken via the state, via eminent domain, high-speed rail. Obviously, this is something that's top of mind as far as the media is concerned. Do I have to pay taxes on the gain? Well, we contacted Real Estate Radio's expert, Steve Monk from Exeter 1031 Exchange Services. And Steve said there's a difference between voluntary and involuntary. So as an example, I've got a piece of real estate that is an investment that I rent out, that I have tenants in. And I decide to sell it. That's voluntary. Versus involuntary, whereas in this particular instance, where the state actually comes in and says, hey, we are going to offer you monies for the property, or if you don't accept, we are going to take the property via our right, via eminent domain. And the difference there is voluntary would be a 1031 tax-deferred exchange. And again, all you're doing is you're just deferring the tax down the road, versus involuntary, which would be a 1033 tax-deferred exchange. So I thought it was a very, very good question. Thanks so much, Sylvia. If you have any questions with regards to 1031 or 1033 tax-deferred exchanges, contact our friend Steve Monk with Exeter 1031 Exchange Services at 559-221-2517. Again, 559-221-2517. Lastly, before we go this Sunday morning, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and bring light. We lost an amazing comedian this week in Robin Williams, and it was actually Lisa's request that we spend a couple minutes or a brief period of time and just share our thoughts with regards to when we look at someone like Robin Williams. What an amazing actor. What an amazing comedian. Was full of life.
Genius.
An absolute genius at his craft. But there is one thing that no matter how you think someone's star shines bright, it could very well or very easily be a situation that they're suffering. And in this particular situation, it was said that he had been clean or sober of alcohol and drugs for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. But it was just recently, within the last year, that he actually went to rehab because he was so concerned about using again. Not because he had begun using, but he was so concerned about using again. It's really important that we, I think, take some time out of our lives and our self-centered lives, and make sure that we understand that it is our generosity that could actually have a huge impact on someone that really, truly is in need, and just taking the time to take an interest in someone else. I'm not saying that it would have made a difference as far as Robin Williams is concerned, but I really do firmly believe it kind of set me back a little bit, got me thinking. I think it's important. I think it's incumbent upon us to take the time to ask those questions, whether it's kids, family member, friends, or a stranger on the street. How are you doing? How's your day going? We get so wrapped up in our own doggone days at times. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Start your search for your next home at valleywidesells.com. A big thank you to Dr. Kevin Lester. Talking about testosterone optimization here in the studio this morning. Give Dr. Lester a call, 844-867-4281. I screwed that up. 844-TOP-HAT and the number 1. Thanks so much for being here, Dr. Lester. Megan, appreciate it. Timmer, thanks so much, buddy, for getting up with us.
Great to be here.
Johnny B, so great to have you behind the mics every Sunday morning. You know, our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market, so we can help bring you back home. Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 9 a.m. on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Make it a great day, California, and we will see you next week.
The preceding is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.